Board regular meeting, July 22nd, 2024. Roll call, Madam Secretary.
President April Brandon,
Here.
Vice President John Mishler is absent. Secretary Megan Hill, here. Treasurer Natalie Ninovich, here. Trustee Kristen Watt, here. Trustee Shannon Cole.
Here. We have a quorum. This meeting is opened. I will entertain a motion to excuse Vice President Joe Mishler. He messaged ahead and said that he is not feeling well.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, Madam Secretary.
President April Brandon,
Yes.
Joe is absent. Myself, I. Natalie,
Yes.
Kristen,
Yes.
Shannon.
Yes.
Motion carried. Approval of agenda.
I wanted to add something to the agenda. I wanted to add. I would like to make a motion to add board packet updates and the inclusion of detailed financial reports to this agenda.
I will second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Let's do discussion. Is this not included under old business, that first line, Ms. Hill?
No, because I had a whole thing that I had typed out. So I want to create a formal discussion around so we get, a lot of times we get the board packet, but then we get an update at the meeting. So then when I go back to look at my records in the email, I'm sorry, but I don't keep all the paper stuff. I don't like copy it and put it into my thing. I think if we are trying to set up the next board for success, they should get the updated copies, because then they have records of everything. A lot of times we get updates and the information in these packets that we don't have in our emails.
Okay. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please, Madam Secretary.
All right, April,
Yes.
myself, yes. Natalie,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
Kristen.
Yes.
Motion carried. So that should go under new business?
I believe so.
Okay. We'll have that go under discussion of partnership. So I wrote that on mine. If everyone else could do the same, please, to help me track.
What's the
Okay.
formal, is just the amendment,
I'm sorry?
the formal language for this added board packet, oh, okay,
I just put packet 2. Packets discussion.
thank you.
Okay, where are we? Approval, oh. So now we still need to approve the agenda.
I'll make,
Go ahead, you
I'll
were drinking,
make-
so.
sorry, I'm so dry. I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I will second that.
We have a first, we have a second. Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
April,
Yes.
myself, yes. Natalie,
Yes.
Kristen,
Yes.
Shannon.
Yes.
Motion carried. Approval of June regular and special meeting minutes. Did anyone have any discussion or questions?
I'll move we approve.
I'll second it.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any further discussion? Okay, Madam Secretary, roll vote, please.
April,
Yes.
myself, yes. Natalie,
Yes.
Kristen,
Yes.
Shannon.
Yes.
Motion carried. Public comments. This is both agenda and non-agenda items. Public comments are limited to the subject matter as shown. Persons addressing the board should state their name and address. Director comments to the president. Comments are limited to 4 minutes. Would any members of the public, I see a hand. Jessica?
Just want to make sure I say the right company. Okay. So I know tonight you guys are gonna be talking a little bit about the library design stuff, and I know that in the past with discussions, there was some hesitancy because of the potential of doing a larger build out in the future. Now, as much as I hope that we can do the larger build out in the future, I think that not moving forward with this now would be a disservice to the employees and our patrons. We have an opportunity to make the library better suit the employees' needs and our community's needs with some redesign. And I know that some people might think that without a build out, we can't really expand space, but I personally moved one shelf over 8 inches and rearranged a few other shelves and doubled my teen space. So having professionals come in and examine and redesign the space that we have could absolutely be beneficial to all of us. And there's unfortunately no guarantee that in the future, we will be able to do the bigger one. It's gonna depend on money and millages. There's no guarantee we'll get the millages. If we're giving more back to the community now with what we have, I think that could help us be in the position to do something bigger in the future. So like I said, I understand the hesitancy to spend money now just to spend more money that takes this away, but it doesn't take it away because it still gives everybody a much better space for those next 3, 5, 7 years, however long it takes us to get a new building or a build out or any of that stuff. So just my humble opinion that I think it would still be very beneficial to everybody. There's no reason to not give the employees and our community the upgrades that we can, or you can, in the hopes that it won't be looked at as a waste in 5 years, because it's not a waste. It's stuff that's still needed, so. That's pretty much it.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, and Jessica, I live in Grand Blanc, I work here.
Thank you for catching that. Any other public comments? Tina?
Tina Reset, Adult Services Manager. I'd like to just add to what Jessica said, but, that I know the board has had information before about a needs assessment, which the 2 library architects had talked about doing, and I think that, that should be maybe reevaluated or evaluated by the board and by, the director, just to see what do we really need, before moving forward with purchasing, furniture, shelving, or whatever. That costs money too.
Thank you, Tina. Anyone else? Okay. Financials, bills to pay, bills to pay, the ramp, the checking account register, and the management report. Any questions for the director?
I might have one, but hold on. I might not, we'll see. Sorry, it's different when I'm reading it on paper versus in a long email. I thought I had seen something.
I do have a quick question. With the village changing, garbage services, do we also have to change garbage services, or are we using the same?
We are, the same as residents.
Okay.
So,
Okay, and then do you pay quarterly, or is this,
I think it's quarterly.
okay.
There's been no change in prices I'm aware of.
I see a deposit on the bank register for just over $2,400 that doesn't look like it has notes. Curious about that. page 7.
620.
Correct.
Like for copiers, it's like off.
I think the copier charges are the $35.59,
Yeah.
but I don't know what the $24.16
Oh,
is.
I do not know, ma'am, I can look it up. Yeah, we take a break or any time at all.
Carrie said it's Friends Summer, reading contributions.
They did 4,500 at our last meeting, wasn't,
That's what they had earmarked, I think.
yeah, I thought they got that at the meeting that.
That might, in fact, that does ring a bell, that's about the right time frame for the friends. Being able to look it up. I have to move away from working.
Natalie, do you want an answer now before approval?
That's okay.
This is maybe a strange question, but that's what I was looking for, and I don't see on here, so it's not about what is on here, it's about what's not. Do we pay our landscaping or our mowers or whatever monthly?
No. Mr. Claus bills us here regularly.
Okay, well, we can come back to the reason I'm asking later, but I just wanted to ask if that's something we pay monthly or just as services are provided.
As services are provided and as it was explained to me, as he remembers to give his wife
The invoices, okay, thank you.
but it's very irregular.
Okay, thank you.
I have a bit of a question on the Amazon purchases. Where's the accountability? Is there receipts from those purchases that are itemized kept somewhere?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's all I needed to know, thank you. Anyone else? Madam Secretary, roll call vote, please.
April,
Yes.
myself, yes. Natalie,
Yes.
Kristen,
Yes,
Shannon.
Yes.
Motion carried. Okay, Director and President report. I don't have a report. Mr. Director, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam President. First thing I would like to, the first thing I would like to say is to thank the board president for his 6+ hours last Saturday
Oh, I was just hanging out having fun. I wasn't volunteering, don't, no.
at our axe throwing event. When Jessica first proposed that, I was a little skeptical, but I think it turned out to be one of our best events ever. The sense of community, the sense of fun, the food was all wonderful. And although not as many teams showed up as we would have wanted to, I think the precedent has been set for more to come in the future. And it attracted a nice sized adult crowd. And I apologize, I don't have the rest of my notes in front of me. Oh, there it is. We had good attendance. I'm pleased to report Groveland approved the increase of $2 per resident, which will bring us an extra $4,000. Haven Group is actually with us, and I will unmute when we are ready for them. And I put in a charitable request to the state bank for $15,000 to ask them to sponsor a new book display area and buy books for it. I have not heard that from them yet, but Holly Library has been a customer of State Bank for many, many, many years, and they do other things in the community. And that kind of rolls in with what Ms. Brandon will talk about later this evening.
Wonderful, thank you, Greg, and thank you, Jessica, fantastic job. It really was a lot of fun.
I enjoyed seeing it set up in front. I think it really highlighted the library as people were driving by too.
I thought so too.
I
We had
literally
people
wrote that
beeping.
note down.
Yeah, cars were beeping and cars were revving their engines and yeah, it was a good time.
There was also a lot of, social media traction
Yeah.
regarding the advertisement of it, as well as people seeing it and going, hey,
What's
like,
going
and it was
on?
happening,
Yeah.
and it was adults, like,
Mhm.
it was a lot of adults, actually,
Yeah.
that I noticed, privately and publicly, so I thought, just having even any type of programming that can be done out front like that is a really good advertisement to people that things are going on and seeing adults here doing adult things too, even though we want teens.
And Jessica's hot dogs were a big hit too. I'm not just counting the 6 I had. And I lied, the president does have a little bit of a report. Trustee Watt mentioned something to me the other day that I just wanted to have as a discussion item.
He wrote that, you can carry on.
No, and I'd like to turn it over to you.
Oh, was this regarding landscaping?
Oh, no, actually, Cloud and Loom.
I had that as an agenda item.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
Where?
It's a very cloud,
About
I believe.
yes, sorry.
Oh, well then, never mind. I
We'll
thought
talk
that you
about that
omitted
later.
that, so we'll get back to that later.
Okay,
There
thank
is
you.
no president report, I didn't lie.
Okay.
Moving on, old business, the 2024-25 budget, separate packet.
Is this mine?
Yours is
It's
underneath.
yours.
Rachel, can you hear me? You are muted right now.
I can hear you, yes.
Okay. I may move a microphone real quick to make sure everybody can hear you.
Absolutely, sure.
I would like to introduce to the board Rachel Malone of Haven Group. Rachel has helped me tremendously, and their CPA has helped me tremendously, and I'll be the first to frankly admit, this is too big of a job for me alone to do all the financial stuff. Rachel is here to answer any questions about this budget or the P&L from last year.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure.
All right, so if any members of the board have any questions for Rachel,
I have a lot.
we're gonna start off with trustee Megan Hill.
I would eat the mic though.
This one.
I have quite a few questions, but the one I wanna start with in income.
Okay,
So-
you said you have a couple questions, you wanna start with income?
Yeah, so in 2022, 2023, we expected 12,500 in interest and dividends. And this year we got, the actual was 1,100. That seems like way off. We only took about 50,000 out of the savings to do the strategic planning, so it just seems really, like a really big decrease.
Okay, it's a little fuzzy, you said it was for the, it's for the dividends, did I hear that correctly?
Yes,
Yes.
interest and dividends.
Interest and dividends,
Okay. Let me take a look at the
I
balance
can
sheet here then.
give you the number.
It's right here, 671,001.
671,001.
And part of that may be, I don't mean to speak for Rachel, dependent on when we receive the interest and dividends, which fiscal year it was put into. Does that make sense?
That's what I'm thinking,
Okay.
you said it was for, in total the, let's see, what number is that? I have a-
It was
671001.
Okay, perfect. Interest and dividends, okay. This year of 11,372. I also have good pulled up as well, so I can take a look and see.
we have like 400,000 in the bank, so you would think it would be closer to that 12K.
I don't know how much interest we earn. I mean, I can pull statements. I don't think bank interest is that much.
Maybe we want to reconsider where we have it located? Is that something we can do?
If, that's certainly something the board can explore. Typically, what falls in there are dividends from the Ellis, unless that's separately on there. But dividends from Michigan, the MLC, Michigan, people that have our insurance. My brain's crying. Michigan Municipal.
Let me see.
The
there, and I'm not seeing that accrual amount in total, so we might have to go through the bank statements to actually get a clear understanding of that dividend income that we're discussing.
I would like to see that because the only thing I had access to was 2022, 2023, and it was $12,000, and going to
So
1,100.
and I see that's through the
feels
multi-bank, it's
wild.
the multi-bank securities account. That's what I'm seeing here, that's where typically most of the income was generated from in the prior years. So that might be a journal entry adjustment, I just need to enter in, let me take a look and see here.
Is that the MBS account, Rachel?
That is correct, yes.
That's a separate, entity in and of itself on the budget, on the QuickBooks.
Okay, gotcha, cause I saw, I wasn't sure if I had seen that dividend, that actual revenue underneath interest and dividends account 671001 for that period of July of 2022 through June of 2023.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't see anybody be under the MBS only account.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
I didn't print I only printed like one per table, I was thinking, but I can give you mine and I can pull it up on.
This is where she
Okay.
Yeah, that's just something I wanna look into, like if it's in a different year, or, I don't know, that doesn't really make sense to me, but, like for that much money. But if we're not making money on the money that we have, maybe we should reconsider where we have it, just for something to think about.
Rachel, would you know offhand what, a checking account interest rate, a good one would be?
It also depends on the actual checking account itself.
Well, I'm thinking,
I have to think here.
I was thinking
My
like
cat is
moving
yelling
it,
today.
moving it into investment.
Okay.
Like if we need money, maybe we should consider investing.
Unless those dividends are on a different year or
Yeah.
located somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right, so that's what I wanna know. So we don't have to know now if we don't know, but
Yeah.
But
just
we can get a
something.
report to everyone.
Megan, I don't wanna interrupt.
I can
Can
most likely
ask
have
a
that by
question
you
about
tomorrow
your
in the
question?
afternoon, once I actually have all, basically that information together, for you, that would be no problem.
Would tomorrow afternoon be okay? Or is that
I think so.
Okay, great.
Okay, I have a question about Megan's question, so before we move on to another item. Are we allowed to invest money that's taxpayer dollars? Are you just saying like a CD or something with a higher interest rate, but like?
Yeah, it's just something to explore, like,
We currently have about $210,000 in investments. We inherited $400,000 and took $250 out. Multi-bank securities.
Oh, okay, I guess maybe I just want clarification on that word investment, like what does that mean? Because,
The board can designate, certain funds or certain funds you don't want to invest in, things like that.
okay, I just didn't know if they were taxpayer dollars, if you were allowed to invest, because investment to me means that you could potentially lose money as well as gain money. And I didn't know if we were legally allowed to actually invest money.
Pretty sure, another question, Rachel, that we can run by the CPA.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely, Cecile would be able tomorrow, he would be willing to, him and I do a lot of work together. The dividend portion and also that portion is, he's actually pretty good at that, so I have no problem reaching out to him tomorrow in the morning and going over that with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tomorrow afternoon.
No problem, it's something I wanted to get clarification. Thank you.
Sure.
I don't think we're planning on any high-risk investments, but it's
I
good to
know,
know,
right?
good to know what we can and can't do.
Absolutely.
Back to you, Megan?
I don't know if any of my other questions are specifically for Rachel or more just about the budget. Does that make sense?
She's prepared to speak about the budget.
But like how we organized it.
Oh, you mean the categories?
Yeah, just like what we put where.
That would be an us discussion mostly.
So I don't think I really have any more questions for Rachel
Okay.
at this moment.
Does anyone else have anything for Rachel at this moment?
At this moment, would you say, Rachel, I'm
Shannon Cole, I don't know if you can hear me. Are we operating then going into this next budget at a loss? Is there something that we are looking to make up in revenue, or?
At this point, from what I'm seeing, I'm not seeing it as necessarily as a loss.
Okay,
Revenue was basically flat at this point, so it kind of didn't change from the prior fiscal, or from, I'm sorry, from the prior year. I forget you guys have a different year end. So as of now, I'm not seeing that. So I'm not considering that as a loss at this point.
okay, thank you.
I do have one, I'm not actually sure.
Can you state your name so Rachel knows who's
Yeah,
talking?
this is Megan again. I'm not actually sure if this is for you, Rachel, or for Greg. But 815, there seems to be a number like on the header line. There seems to be money on the header line, which was confusing to me.
There was money on a credit line.
On like the header, so 815.00 contractual services to me looked like the header, and that has $11,200. It wasn't clear like what that money was for.
I don't see that.
Or a copier makes spontaneous lines sometimes.
I think it might have.
Look at mine. Compare to yours.
I think it might have been the budget, not the profit loss.
Oh.
Right here.
I had like a.
Yes, I got it. Page 3,
It was the
profit and loss. It has an unmolded contractual service for $11,200, but then it has a bolded total contractual services for $38,302.86. So, I guess what would be the $11,200?
Can you hold yourself on that? Are we looking at the budget or the P&L?
Profit and loss.
Oh, sorry.
Yep, sorry, P&L page 3.
Page 3 of P&L.
Under contractual.
So I see that
Oh, I see
corporate
it.
libraries as of now was under contractual services, which is totaling out to that 11,200. However, if that is not a correct account head for that, we can adjust whatever is needed. But that's what I'm seeing. That is the amount that is showing up to 11,200.
Yes, the money added up, but I just didn't understand what is the $11,200. It
Fast
just says
forward.
contractual.
Fast
Oh,
forward
fast forward.
libraries.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect, thank you.
It is confusing hearing two contractual services.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, it's okay, I understand, and that's the thing is, when you're able to go into like the transaction reports or the history of these, it does help to see, sometimes maybe we just need to adjust which account it goes into, but as long as, if fast forward libraries, if this is a good spot for contractual services, then I can keep it here, but I'm always willing to, you know, whatever is easier for you guys or is helping you guys stay organized.
Yeah, I think that works. Maybe just its own line item.
Its own line, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
but so essentially maybe make it its own like account head.
Yeah, I think so. Just since we're doing the strategic planning and it's special and different, I think.
Absolutely. So I can work with Greg on that and see what account head we would want for that.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
This
May
is,
I add something, Madam President?
well, quick question. This is April Brandon, and I have a simple question. Looking at our budget, would you say that this board can afford your services?
I believe that you can.
Wonderful. Great, go ahead.
Thank you. Megan, under your later item tonight, if you have a, or if the board has a projected way Rachel and I can have it work out, she's really good for folks.
Okay.
For reports on financial stuff that you mentioned earlier.
Okay.
Okay, so in regards to the profit and loss, does everyone have their questions answered?
I think so. Because, just going back into, this is Shannon Cole, sorry about that. We have our net income as negative 12,562. Just for the record, that is because we're waiting for revenue, right? Or why is that the negative?
Because, we spent 12,492 over what we took in during that
Last year.
last year.
Okay, so when we're going through to make this new budget, that is already gonna account for that
Yep.
in here, perfect, okay. And I'm good.
In our projection for next year, are we projected to be not in the negative?
Yes, ma'am.
That was a double negative question, I apologize.
We are not gonna be in the negative.
Is that what that $544 or whatever that was surplus is?
$550.
$550? Okay.
I'm sorry, what?
There's I had asked
Oh, okay, I'll
about
look.
that.
My unfortunate choice of text color.
Red is not.
I know, I was like, what does that mean?
Is that the last page?
Yes, ma'am. Page 11.
Oh, page 11, okay. So, we're looking to, okay, so I'm ignoring the fact that it's red, we're not in the red. Okay. So we're expected to be over by $500 next year? This is cutting it tight, okay, all right, but better than negative 12 grand,
That's right.
okay.
And as Rachel will tell you, and our CPA will tell you, this is like looking into a crystal ball. You know, I can't guarantee a lot of the things not a lot, some of the things, I can't guarantee that house values won't go down. Everybody will be
Okay.
behaved, have no penal fines, et cetera.
Can you guide me to the page I might look at for the proposal for the librarian's budget, please?
Yes, ma'am. We're on a new budget, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Is it under materials?
It would be under material.
Do you have a page number, Kristen?
Page 8?
Thank you. How did I go from 6 to 14? I think that's just out of order.
What I asked Rachel to do this year, for library materials, was add, we're in the process of this, break it down by adult, teen, children, and large print. So each department has its own budget and they manage their own budget. The same is true for, community planning and whatever the word is at the end of that.
So
Can I-
have any of these gone up or down?
I think they have probably gone down.
Okay, so periodicals, 1,000.
Periodicals, I have asked Michelle to cut, we're getting very few
Periodical
for
requests, okay.
Yes.
AV materials, 1,000,
Also cut down, these are CD books,
okay? Large print book purchases, 2,000.
2,000, we ran, I may rely on audience member Jessica, we ran a checkout versus patron versus material type, and large print is not a substantial part of our checkout stuff anymore.
Okay, and then we have adult and children at 9,000 each and teen at 5. Are those around the same that they were before?
No, because when you look at what we had last year, the amount of adult, children, and teens is the same amount of everything now. It's actually less for everything. Because we thought we had a surplus last year,
Right.
but we didn't.
So we did, so this is proposing to cut from materials. What else are you proposing? How much of that was cut? Do you happen to remember a number off your head, Megan?
The book purchases last year or the whole library materials?
Adult, teen, and children. It sounds like the others were quantified.
Yeah, so adult, teen, and children was 30,000 last year.
Okay, so we're looking at,
And it was 40% adult, 40% children, 20% teens.
And then periodicals was 2850, so we have cut from there.
7,000 less for the 3 librarians. Okay. And, what else are we proposing, are you proposing cuts on, Mr. Director?
I think those are in contractual services, ma'am.
Okay.
Electronic services is also being cut by $9,500.
You said electronic services?
Electronic resources, sorry.
Electronic resources.
Which I believe you brought up, correct, at the special
Yeah,
meeting?
because it was missing. And I would like to say that I did request this 2 weeks ago, and I couldn't review it.
So in our 23-24 budget, we had earmarked 55,000 for library materials. We are doing for this year at 27,700. So it is a substantial amount.
Okay, how much are we cutting electronic resources by?
$9,500.
And what was the other thing that you said we were taking a cut on, Craig?
Periodicals, and periodicals by about 1,800.
So periodicals, we already talked about with library materials, but electronic resources, and wasn't there something else you said was gonna take a cut?
Can I,
Well,
Contractual services?
Yeah, but not under,
Is-
library materials.
and I don't know if this is gonna come up when we get to
Well,
other.
I'm sorry, which contractual services are being cut?
That's not a significant reduction, it's only $500, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'll raise my hand.
Okay, so what about electronic resources? How much did we spend on electronic resources last year?
If we define electronic resources as ebooks,
Was it defined as ebooks last year?
it was in that budget, yes.
Okay,
It's not broken out on the P and L though.
No,
will it be defined in electronic will ebooks be under electronic resources next year?
they can be. But ebooks and electronic